Barry Venison. The big Czech goalie is a real crowd favourite, especially because he's had to battle all the way for his place. He's seen off his rivals with some spectacular saves and consistent top form.
And Srnicek has to put it out again.
Now he's without doubt the number one. Barry Venison is the local lad who came back to the Northeast to turn a good career into a great one. A natural leader on the pitch, he's always looked destined for the top.
Venison! And he's done it!
That was the teenager scoring on his debut. But all that potential has now come good with an England call-up at 30. Yes, it was a great move for Barry and for Newcastle when the Venisons came back to the Northeast. It's not been easy for Brian Robson to single out two players from Middlesbrough's championship team effort, but the boss chose Jamie Pollock and Steve Vickers. Jamie has given his all for the cause, a Teessider whose non-stop running and passing game has been crucial. This goal sums up the Borough battler.
Pollock on a run through the middle, Pollock with a chance here, Pollock still going, he takes some stopping, Jamie Pollock.
The Premiership will soon find out Jamie Pollock has the will to be a winner. Steve Vickers has been a tower of strength in the defence, good positioning, solid tackling, dominant in the air at the back, and when the chance arises, at the front as well.
Vickers got up there, and it's in! It's a goal for Middlesbrough.
Steve Vickers, the manager's pick of the First Division's best defence. At Sunderland, manager Peter Reid will have been well advised by his coaching staff that Kevin Ball and Phil Gray have been outstanding. Skipper Ball has been the true captain, leading from the front, while playing both at the back and in midfield.
Smith got there, and Ball! That's a skipper's goal.
Kevin Ball, a Player of the Year contender every year. Northern Ireland international Phil Gray has once again been the team's leading scorer, despite a series of different striking partners.
Gray at full speed, Gray! A superb goal, Phil Gray!
Phil Gray's goals as vital as ever. From the third division, Hartlepool's Ian McGuckin and Darlington's Gary Himsworth complete the nominations. It's been a tough job to be a consistent, steadying influence during Hartlepool's troubled season, but central defender Ian McGuckin has kept his head with some dependable and influential performances in the most testing of circumstances. Much the same story at Darlington, where Gary Himsworth has had to overcome personal injury problems, but has still pulled through to be a mainstay of the playing side when the managers have kept changing. Gary has toured the region with York and Scarborough. Now Quakers fans have appreciated his experience. Well, those are the names in the frame tonight, but many more have contributed to...
John, you've seen the nominations. Who would get your vote this year as player of the season?
I think Jamie Pollock and Steve Vickers, both have had tremendous seasons and culminating us winning promotion. But I think you've got to maybe hand it to Barry Venison. I mean, his age, and he's been getting an England cap at that age. He's done marvellous this year.
Well, Hennessy Cognac's guest of honour here this evening is Frank Clark, now of course manager of Nottingham Forest. Frank, you're already in Europe. You can enjoy yourself and relax a bit.
Yeah, we can relax this week. The result we got on Saturday means that we're in Europe, and we can relax now until next season.
And Newcastle United, of course, they've had a successful season once again.
Oh, they've been marvellous. I mean, they've been one of the most exciting and entertaining teams in the division. There's no doubt about that. And I'm certainly hoping that they qualify for Europe one way or another.
And of course, Frank, elsewhere in the North East, everybody's talking about Middlesbrough at the moment. How impressed have you been by what they've achieved this season?
Well, it was always going to be very, very difficult to get up this season, more difficult than ever before, because there was only the one automatic place. So that put pressure on everybody. For them to come through and do it, get that place in Brian's first year is a marvellous achievement.
Well, most of our guests have now taken their seats.
Pitch. Ladies and gentlemen, will you rise and salute your very special guests of honour here tonight? Please welcome the First Division champions, Middlesbrough Football Club. And at the front, who else but the man who's inspired the borough's success, Brian Robson. He's led by example on the field and masterminded a brilliant campaign. With him, of course, his right-hand man, Viv Anderson, who's also got into the thick of the action when called on. Skipper Nigel Pearson has been a colossus too, but it's been very much a team effort. So congratulations to every player for a magnificent season. Well, the Borough lads can settle down now for another good night out. Mind you, I suspect there might have been one or two of those already in the last week or so. The champagne has certainly been flowing ever since Borough's opponents finally fell off the Teesiders' relentless pace. Middlesbrough were champions once Bolton failed to beat Stoke. The Borough hadn't kicked a ball, but the celebrations could really get going. Now, the lucky fans who managed to get a ticket for Sunday's final game at Prenton Park against Tranmere saw their team stick to their high standards. There was no way Robbo would let his lads take it easy. In the end, it was Jan Fjortoft, deadly from this sort of range, who made sure there was no defeat to spoil the party. A 1-1 draw, quite enough to spark more VE celebrations. Victory in the Ensley. The Borough even had their own Vera Lynn with the right song for the occasion.
We're getting soaked for the second time this week. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Keep smiling through, just like you always do. I don't know, help me again, some sunny day. Hey, Johnny.
May the 18th, 1994, Brian Robson arrives on Teesside.
I don't want to promise too much at the start, but let's hope that somewhere along the line we can get back in the Premier League where Middlesbrough deserves to be.
Viv Anderson arrived as Robson's number 2, and their first signing was a club record. £1 million for Neil Cox from Robson's former boss, Ron Atkinson. Clayton Blackmore came for nothing, a gift from Robson's other managerial mentor, Alex Ferguson. But it was a familiar face who got Borough off to a flyer. 2 goals from John Hendry gave the new boss a winning start. At the back, Alan Miller began with 5 clean sheets as jet-propelled Borough soared to the top of the table. Nigel Pearson was Captain Marvel's new skipper, but they were both sidelined for nearly 3 months. For Robson, it was a chance to concentrate on being the boss. Roads to Wembley was soon closed. Borough lost out to Big Ron's Aston Villa in the Coca-Cola Cup. The door to the Premiership, though, was still wide open, especially when Graham Taylor's Wolves left Ayresome pointless. Hendry and Lady Luck combined to give Robson a victory to savour. Borough were laying the foundations for promotion. A new home awaits them in the top flight. With a capacity of 32,000 and at a cost of £16 million, the Riverside Stadium will be christened in the Premiership. The builders are sweating blood to meet the deadline. Robson has led and bled by example. A new scoring sensation arrived in the spring. With 6 goals in 5 games, Uwe Fuchs became Teesside's favourite German. He was partnered in a new international strike force by Jaime Moreno, Teesside's favourite and probably only Bolivian. On deadline day, Robson completed the set, entered Teesside's favourite Norwegian. Jan Fjortoft was brought to score goals. The boss decided to show him how. Goal number 1 for Borough's number 7 was worth waiting for. So was this match winner from Alan Moore, the Irishman doing his bit for international relations. Fjortoft soon showed he brought his scoring boost to Teesside, and Borough was still flying high, but the title race was going right to the wire. April the 30th, 1995. A full house and a day to remember. After 92 years, Middlesbrough were playing their last match at Ayresome Park. Stars of the past made a final pilgrimage. Stars of the present bid farewell in style. Hendry scored twice and Borough had one hand on the trophy. Just one season on Teesside had guaranteed Brian Robson his place in the Ayresome Park Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm down here on the Middlesbrough table with Nigel Pearson, the captain. Nigel, it's flown over, really, hasn't it, this season?
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a tremendous season for us all.
Plenty of help from behind us as well, from some of your teammates, I imagine. It's been a great team effort.
Very much so. Everybody in the squad has contributed at some stage during the season, and you know, we've achieved everything that we set out to achieve at the start of the season.
Ready for a good break now, but to come back to the Premiership?
Absolutely, yeah. We're all looking forward to it very much.
It's going to be a heck of a difference. Challenge, you've been there, of course. Some of the lads haven't.
Some of them haven't, but I'm sure that they're looking forward to it as much as the rest of us are, and I'm very confident that we'll do well there.
Nigel, thanks very much. Middlesbrough Football Club, everybody.
Soon, every United fan was convinced this could be the year. Even again, losing Peter Beardsley with a cheekbone injury couldn't knock Newcastle out of their winning stride. Robert Lee had the most inspired start of all, 11 goals in the first 11 games, as United set the Premiership pace.
I definitely felt that we were going to have a say in the Championship of this country, I must be honest. We started so well. It wasn't just winning, it was the way we were winning. We were scoring goals, we were creating an awful lot of chances.
Newcastle arrived in Europe in the same spectacular style. While the team destroyed Antwerp, the fans made up for 17 years of lost time. But the Euro dream only lasted 2 trips. The supporters of Athletic Bilbao proved superb hosts, but their team came back from a 3-goal deficit after United had the tie under control at home.
If you sort of could take the cut-off point at 3-0 up against Bilbao and the Mexican wave coming around the ground, I mean, at that point, we'd played 2 very good sides. We'd scored 13 goals against them in less than 220 minutes football. I mean, it was incredible. But, of course, then we learnt the other side of European football, I suppose, and that is that maybe we were a little bit naive.
At least United's continental connection was showing the way in the hunt for domestic cups. Pottinger now with the chance to cross. Albert's arriving. But the giant Belgian became the most expensive in a devastating series of injuries. Scott Sellers was already a treatment table regular. It soon became too much for United's squad. Removing goal-scoring inspiration Andy Cole was entirely Keegan's choice. Selling Cole to Manchester United was one of football's great bombshells, and the manager had to face a bewildered public.
If it doesn't work, you know, I know what the implications are. I know what the bottom line is.
Paul Kitson had been signed to increase attacking options, but now he had to lead the line. Keith Gillespie had arrived from Old Trafford in the Cole deal and soon became a crowd favourite. But Keegan was bitterly disappointed that United's travelling supporters saw their team struggle to pick up away points. European qualification went from a consolation prize to a major challenge. It's a tough league.
We had the quality here to win something this year. And maybe not the league. I mean, that takes something a little bit more than just 1 year in the Premier, I think. But we certainly had it in us to do a Leeds. If we had that bit of luck, I mean, they had the bit of luck. With Man United falling away. If we'd had the bit of luck, we had a chance. But it was the injuries to key players.
The England setup.
Yeah, obviously it started off quite disappointing with the injury. But obviously just managing to keep in the Newcastle team at the moment with such good players here. It's been a very good season.
Steve, thanks very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Newcastle United.
Thank you.
For Sunderland, Roker Park has been at the heart of a difficult season. The uncertainty in that every player on the shortlist has been put forward by his manager. Of course, if you happen to be a player manager, you've got a problem winning this one, unless, of course, you fancy nominating yourself. But no player or manager would argue about what a season it's been for one man who's always worn a red shirt with great pride. So the judges have decided to make an extra presentation, which our guest of honour, Frank Clark, will hand over. For an outstanding contribution to North East football this season, a special award goes to Brian Robson.
I think that says it all, really. I mean, the whole speaks what many people around the region think, a tremendous job, well done.
No, I am a bit surprised by this. I've been winding Steve Vickers up on our table all night saying, get your speech ready. And I wasn't quite prepared for this one. But no, it's been a great season. The lads have been tremendous for me. The attitude and everything throughout the year, first class. They deserve what they're just rewards at the end of the season. But I'm just delighted to have come up to the North East, and I'm delighted for the North East. I think they deserve it. They've got 3 big clubs who can make the presence felt in the Premier League. I hope Sunderland can do it next year. I hope we can stay in there and we can achieve what Nottingham Forest and Newcastle have done when they went into the Premier League. I'd like to wish Hartlepool and Darlington all the best. It's like Frank said, it's very difficult down there, but you've got to make the best of a good job. And I'd like to wish them all the best, and then it'll be great for the North East.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Robson.
Thanks for coming back, Brian. Let's come back now to the players and concentrate on who's going to win this award, the region's Premier Football Honour. This is the 16th year that the Hennessy Award has been presented, and the 1995 winner will come from these players put forward by their manager. Kevin Keegan's nominations are 2 internationals. Keeper Pavel Cernicek and Barry Venison have saved the day on more than one occasion for United, while Barry made his England debut at the tender age of 30-something. Middlesbrough boss Brian Robson has gone for Jamie Pollock and Steve Vickers from his championship-winning side. Jamie has run his heart out for the Borough this season, and Steve has been solid as a rock in defence. Sunderland have selected skipper Kevin Ball and their international striker Phil Gray. Kevin has seen his role change a couple of times from defence to midfield. Gray has been almost ever present this season. And the nominations from Hartlepool and Darlington are Ian McGuckin and Gary Himsworth. Consistent performers for both sides in difficult circumstances. Well, the final judging was carried out by a team of top sports writers, and now to the awards. To announce third place, let me introduce again a man who always seems to know every football story before it's made public. Here's the executive sports editor of the Evening Chronicle, John Gibson.
Thank you, Roger. And in third place in the North East Footballer of the Year, from Newcastle United, Pavel Cernicek. Wouldn't really be possible without the continued support of Hennessy Cognac. They really do back these awards to the hilt, and their hospitality has been absolutely first class again tonight. We're delighted that Maurice Hennessy has travelled to join us yet again, completing his 100% record. Maurice, will you please tell us the runner-up in this year's awards?
So for Middlesbrough, Mr. Jamie Pollock.
So now, the big moment. We have a guest of honour tonight who certainly appreciates what football means in this part of the world. This award is an honour indeed, and you can see it certainly rouses passions in the audience. So, Frank Clark, will you please reveal the Hennessy Cognac North East Footballer of the Year for 1995?
The North East Footballer of the Year for this year is Barry Venison.
The backbone of United's terrific progress with 3 positions over 3 years. What a season. First international recognition and now North East Footballer of the Year.
Barry, many congratulations. Nice suit, bit sober for you.
Glad the suit is better. The suit is better because I'm not. No, it's been a fantastic season for Newcastle, and I'd like to thank Hennessy Cognac and the Evening Chronicle for presenting me this tonight. It's certainly an honour, and I'm delighted here to get in front of you all tonight. It's been an up and down year, what with injuries and stuff, but it's one of the highlights of my season this year. Getting the two completely unexpected call-ups. It's been fantastic, and it's a credit to the rest of the lads. I wouldn't be stood here without those lads.
Barry, many congratulations.
Thank you.
Barry Venison.
Another year. Remember, Barry Venison there, still have to bring down the curtain.
Well, we apologise for the quality of sound and picture during this awards ceremony, not up to our usual standard, and we hope it didn't spoil your enjoyment of the programme.
Liverpool have been beaten twice in their previous 3 matches.
Newcastle's goalkeeping coach. Today he made his senior debut for Manchester City. Burridge, who's played over 700 league games for a variety of clubs, played the second half after Tony Coton was injured. Burridge, one of the great characters, had to rely on an element of luck. Rule Fox's header coming back off the post. So John Burridge making a successful debut. His first one was 25 years ago.
Yeah, I can handle it better now, than I can when I was 17 or even 27 or 28. I'm fitter now than I was then because I eat better. I look after myself a lot better, and my mind's stronger. And when I go into a game like this, I know I can handle it. In them days, I thought to myself, well, if you get through it, fine and dandy. But I expect to keep clean sheets now.
I'm quite happy with the draw because that's taken us to 48 points. I think that'll be enough now, but one more will definitely do.
They really are.